Hey everybody, it's your old buddy, Uncle Rich here for Who's Telling the Truth. Guys, this is show number 205. Today's date is 2/19. Very good, Judy. Oh, look at this. We're really getting fancy schmancy, huh? 2/19, and today is President's Day. So we're going to have a little fun. Bill Maher does a little thing we're going to do for President's Day. But the name of the show is Badge of Shame. And guys, what happened, with the shooting that happened in Parkland, Texas, in Parkland, Florida? I heard one of the high school students talking about what happened. And believe it or not, his father is a police officer. So he mentioned the badge of shame. So Judy?
From here on, we are creating a badge of shame for any politicians who are accepting money from the NRA. It is a special interest group that has most certainly not our best interests in mind, and this cannot be the normal. This can be changed, and it will be changed. And anybody who tells you that it can't is buying into the facade that's being created by the people who have our blood on their hands.
Judy, can you play that again? Kurt, can you give me a little more volume? Because I really, you hear the traffic in the background.
So if From here on, we are creating a badge of shame for any politicians who are accepting money from the NRA. It is a special interest group that has most certainly not our best interests in mind, and this cannot be the normal. This can be changed, and it will be changed. And anybody who tells you that it can't is buying into the facade that's being created by the people who have our blood on their hands.
Guys, this is not going to be the new normal. This is going to be the change that we need. And by change, I mean the kids are starting to come to the forefront. The kids are able to understand what us adults can't get through our thick skulls. And guys, when you say a badge of shame, I want to put any politician, I don't care what party you're from, I don't care if you're an independent, if you accept a donation from the NRA, if you accept money from the National Rifle Association, I want everybody to consider it a bribe, because that's what it is, plain and simple. They're bribing the politicians so that the corporations that make the guns and the ammunition can do what? They can make more profit. They can make more money. So they put our kids' lives at risk because there's such an influential lobby that controls what happens. And guys, that's what we want to show you tonight. We want to show you how things have changed, how the new normal will be where the kids actually promote gun safety, and we're finally, when we put a noose around the Republican Party and anybody that's going to accept money, you take money from the NRA, you don't get my vote. It's that simple. Money from the NRA, I don't care what the reason is. If you even associate with the NRA, you do not get my vote. And finally, these politicians are going to get the idea, and they're going to say, you know what? Do I want to have a seat, or do I want to have the seat paid for by the NRA? And they're going to have to make a decision. Who are they going to be behind? The people or the profits? It's really simple, guys. And, guns have changed, but our laws haven't. And Judy, let's prove our point with clip number 1, please.
Excuse me. Hey! Hey!
If you want to just add those in, we can send them out.
Ed!
Sure. Ed!
Guys, when the Constitution was written, that's what we were using, muskets. Times have changed. We got to change the Constitution. The Constitution is a living document. It's meant to change. And we're going to change it with these kids. And there's going to be a march. There's going to be a march on Washington. They're going to have a meeting with Trump, which should be a real joke because he hasn't said anything about guns. But, you know, once again, guys, this is President's Day, and we're going to let Bill Maher start us off with a little bit of fun and a little bit of the old bada bing going on. So, Judy, let's have clip number, oh, wait, I'm sorry. Wait. Before we do the Bill Maher, guys, we're going to play another clip now. And this clip was sent to me by our clown friend, Janina. And I tell you, this video is an actual video that took place in one of the classrooms. And you're going to see the cops pick up a girl and carry her out. You're going to see what I assume is a dead body laying over to the side. You're going to see the trauma and the drama that these kids go through, and then you're going to see them leaving the building and going down the halls, passing what I presume is dead bodies laying in the hallway. And guys, this, I want to forewarn you, this video is rough. So, I mean, if things like this get to you, this is the one part of the show. This is really the one time I'm going to advise that you kind of don't watch Uncle Rich for the next minute and a half. All right, guys? This is brutal. So anyway, those were the strong, you won't see any blood, but what you'll do is you'll feel the passion, and you'll see what's going on, and then you'll wonder, how could these kids not be affected years from now? They're going to live with this for the rest of their life. And who do we thank? The NRA. Why? Because they made it possible for this kid to get an assault rifle, like he really needed one. But guys, the deeper we go into the show, the more we'll explore. So like I said, this is going to be a little rough, this one. So be careful. You got little kids, you might want to just get them out of the room. Judy, let's have clip number 2, please. You see the cops in the back, right, guys? Carrying out the one girl, but the other body's still on the ground. The other legs are still there. They're not moving. What are these kids, what's going through their mind? Can you imagine? Put yourself in this position. Let's go. Run. Look at this. Mama mia. If that don't wake you up, huh? And guys, for what? For an assault rifle? So somebody could sell an assault rifle for $800 or $1,000 and ruin these kids' lives for the rest of their life? So we can make some profit? Is that what we want? This coming election, somebody said, did you accept any money from the NRA? If they said, yes, I did, goodbye. We don't even talk to you. We won't even let you on a stage. And this is the way, shunned, discredited. Guys, everything we can possibly do to make sure that the NRA, for once, they finally get the message. You can't buy America. You can buy the politicians, but you can't buy the people. And the next clip is going to be from Bill Maher because he digs a little deeper, and it is President's Day, so we do have a little something to celebrate. Not the president that we have, but we'll get into that in a second. So, Judy, clip number 3, please.
In time for President's Day is Monday. President's Day. Yes, it's nice that we still live in a country where any child can grow up to be the next Lincoln. And by that I mean get killed with a gun. I know, but we have to hear it. I mean, after that horrible shooting in Florida, Trump never mentioned guns. Pivoted right to the NRA talking points. He said so many signs that the Florida shooter was mentally disturbed. Yes, we saw he was wearing a Make America Great Again hat.
Guys, I don't want to put salt in the wound, but I love putting salt in the wound. So the shooter has been known to wear a Make America Great hat again, right? So Judy, let's have still number 4 just to prove our point. And guys, this is from this clown's Instagram. This is from Nicholas Cruz's, he took the picture. I had somebody take the picture, but there you see it, plain as the nose on my face. Make America Great Again. All right, Judy, come back. So is this what, now of course, guys, people are going to say, Rich, you can't make an association like that. Yes, I can. And I just did. And I'll do it again. Because this president, I'll tell you, the elevator doesn't go to the top floor. He's not thinking like a normal, rational human being. And hopefully the message will get out. And guys, the next clip is going to be from John Oliver. And this is going to be why this time is going to be different from all the other mass shootings. And don't forget, guys, you know, we lived through Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook is 2 exits away from me on 84. My kid played soccer on that field. They won their championship game. We celebrated on that field, and now look what happened. The school had to be knocked down. But guys, you know what? It's 5 years later. They aren't kids anymore. They're becoming young adults, and soon they're going to be voting. And guess how they're going to vote? They're going to vote against the NRA. It's really simple. The nonsense has got to stop. So, Judy, let's prove my point with clip number 5, please.
Welcome to Last Week Tonight. I'm John Oliver. Thank you so much for joining us. We are back, which is incredibly exciting, although sadly we must begin by addressing Wednesday's heartbreaking events in Parkland, Florida, where yet another school shooting left 17 dead and many injured. These events are now so familiar, we basically automatically know how each side will play out. Thoughts and prayers? Thoughts and prayers? It's a mental health problem, yeah, but it's also a gun problem, and then someone says, now's not the time to talk about gun control, and everyone moves on until it inevitably happens again. But this time felt slightly different. Because when the now's not the time argument came out, the kids from that school...
They have us thinking that this is inevitable and that we can't do anything to stop it. It's too difficult. We're done with that.
Someone who isn't even allowed to buy alcohol legally is allowed to buy a war weapon? Like, where does that make sense?
They say that no laws could have been able to prevent the hundreds of senseless tragedies that have occurred. We call BS! That us kids don't know what we're talking about, that we're too young to understand how the government works. We call BS! If you agree, register to vote. Contact your local congresspeople and give them a piece of your mind.
Listen to the crowd, guys.
BS. It is a little ironic that the people who are acting with the most maturity in this horrifying situation aren't even old enough to say the word bullshit in front of their parents. Those kids have already announced a march next month, and in doing so, they are challenging adults to participate in a real conversation about gun violence. But they will be up against it. Because when one adult was asked this morning about whether Republicans would take notice of these kids' concerns about guns, this was his response.
We have a culture thing here that we're not discussing. I mean, when I grew up, it was Andy Griffith, and you never had school shootings, and we still had prayer in school, and we drove to school with guns in the car. I say we. I would see students that did that. Today, we are in a different time when not the media, but movie industry, the rap industry, radio in general talks about these things that are common now, and we have almost desensitized it. Now we have to worry about kids eating Tide Pods instead of discipline.
What? I call BS on that. There are so many things wrong there, from the rap industry to the Tide Pods, to the fact that that man was born in 1969, a year after the Andy Griffith Show went off the air, which I guess means that he may never have actually seen it, because not only did Sheriff Andy Taylor not carry a gun, he was happy to explain why.
When a man carries a gun all the time, the respect he thinks he's getting might really be fear. So I don't carry a gun because I don't want the people of Mayberry to fear a gun. I'd rather they would respect me.
Yeah, the sheriff has got a point. And the people of Mayberry did respect him, despite the fact, and this is true, he ate Tide Pods all the time. Now, meanwhile, the Trump administration had another chaotic week. From
So Andy would rather have people respect him than fear a gun. Sounds very logical to me. And guess what? There's no profit involved in that motive. You know what I mean? It's just people being nice to each other, taking care of each other, not worrying about selling an assault rifle to make profits, right? But guys, the next clip, we're going to play the kids again, and this time we're going to play the full clip. And I think there's 5 of them. Judy, I said that we were going to go back to clip number, but forget it. We'll go to clip number 7. And guys, this is the full clip with the kids. And I tell you, when you listen to what they have to say, they don't sound like kids. As a matter of fact, they sound a lot smarter than most of the people I deal with on Facebook. And Uncle Joey, little Stevie, Eddie Shaluk, Ronnie Smith. Hey, Eddie Shaluk, stay tuned, kid, because I'll tell you, I'm going to be taking you to the laundromat in a little while. And after you see the stuff that you posted and how I'm going to rip you a new one, you might stop posting. You might even stop supporting the NRA. Nah. You'd rather put profit before the guy next door, right, Eddie? All right, so anyway, Judy, let's show the full clip.
Joining me now are 5 students from Parkland, Florida, who attend Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. They are David Hogg, Alex Wind, and Emma Gonzalez, plus Cameron Caskey and Jacqueline Corin. Thanks so much to all of you for joining me. And Cameron, I'll start with you. You say the adults have let you down.
Well, the adults in office have let us down, absolutely.
The adults in
fortunately,
office,
we have a lot of support from the older
qualified
generations
that,
here.
guys?
But
Very
what we're trying to do here at March for Our Lives is say the adult politicians have been playing around while my generation has been losing our lives. If you see how they treat each other in the office, if you see the nasty, dirty things going on with them, it's sad to think that that's what they're doing while 17 people are being slaughtered and gunned down only yards away from where we're sitting right now. And March for Our Lives has support from everybody. And at the end of the day, this isn't a red and blue thing. This isn't Democrats and Republicans. This is about everybody and how we are begging for our lives and we are getting support, but we need to make real change here, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
So, Emma, what is the plan? You say you want to spark a national movement. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to actually make it happen. What are you going to do?
Well, what we have set up right now, we have a website, March for Our Lives. We're going to be doing a march in March on Washington where we get students all over the country are going to be joining us. These kids are going to make this difference because the adults let us down. And at this point, I don't even know if the adults in power who are funded by the NRA, I don't even think we need them anymore because they're going to be gone by midterm election. There's barely any time for them to save their skins. And if they don't turn around right now and state their open support for this movement, they're going to be left behind because you are either with us or against us at this point.
We are giving a lot of the politicians that we feel neglected by a clean slate because that's the past and we understand that. But from here on, we are creating a badge of shame for any politicians who are accepting money from the NRA. It is a special interest group that has most certainly not our best interests in mind, and this cannot be the normal. this can be changed and it will be changed. And anybody who tells you that it can't is buying into the facade that's being created by the people who have our blood on their hands.
David, a lot of people saw the reporting that you did from inside the school while the shooting was taking place, and I'm truly sorry that all of you had to live through that. But I want to read to you what President Trump said last night. He said that it's actually the Democrats that have let you down because they didn't pass legislation when they controlled Congress. Does he have a point?
President Trump, you control the House of Representatives, you control the Senate, and you control the executive. You haven't taken a single bill for mental health care or gun control and passed it. And that's pathetic. We've seen a government shutdown. We've seen tax reform, but nothing to save our children's lives. Are you kidding me? You think now is the time to focus on the past and not the future to prevent the death of thousands of other children? You sicken me.
So what kinds of laws do all of you think should be on the books that aren't right now?
Well, what I think needs to be on the books right now that is literally any law that's from either side of the political spectrum. If you're a Republican that supports mental health care, we want you out there making your voice heard, because that's just as important as gun control or gun safety laws at this point. Because Democrats also want gun safety rules, and we can't get into any more debates. We need discussion. We've had the debates, and people have died as a result. Children have died and will continue to if we don't stop now and look at both sides of this, because we can't wait around any longer. Children are dying as a result, and we need to take action. And I call on President Trump and the Republican-controlled House and Senate and executive branch to work together, get some bills passed, and stop taking money from the NRA, because children are dying, and so is the future of America as a result.
And I just want to say something I've heard a lot is the word gun rights. And that has the connotation that we are trying to strip people of their rights. Well, first of all, we have the right to live. And second of all, here at March for Our Lives, at least for me, we don't want to take the guns away from Americans. My father is a police officer. He has guns, and I understand that having concealed weapons is good for protecting yourself. But an AR-15 is not needed to protect your house from robbers. It's not needed to hunt bears. An AR-15 is a weapon of war, and a 19-year-old who is mentally challenged and has problems was able to buy an AR-15 easily. We don't want to disarm America. We want to make America have to work for their weapons, and we have to make sure that everybody who has this kind of power in their hands has been cleared to have it. Because if Nicholas Cruz had gone through 5 minutes with any medical professional, they would have said, this person does not need an AR-15, this person needs a counselor. And 17 people would not have needed graves.
Nice.
Alex, your own Senator Marco Rubio says that more gun laws won't do anything, that anyone who wants to commit violence is going to find a way to get a gun.
Tell Marco Rubio to go
If you think that, Senator Rubio, then change the way it's easier to get a gun, okay? If you think it's too easy to get a gun, do something about it. Make it not easier to get a gun. March 24th on the March for Our Lives is only the beginning. This is the first march, but I can guarantee it will not be the last. We will be marching for the 17 we lost at our school. We will be marching for everyone we lost at the Newtown Sandy Hook shooting, at Columbine, at Virginia Tech, in San Bernardino, Orlando, at the Pulse shooting, and at Las Vegas. This is only the beginning, and March 24th, things are going to change.
It's not our job to tell you, Senator Rubio, how to protect us. The fact that we even have to do this is appalling. Our job is to go to school, learn, and not take a bullet. You need to figure this out. That's why you were unfortunately elected. Your job is to protect us, and our blood is on your hands.
Well, I know that millions of people are watching to see where you take this movement. You've already got tens of thousands of followers online, and we'll be watching to see if you're able to change a pretty entrenched political dynamic here in Washington. Thank you so much to the 5 of you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
These kids are wise beyond their time, right? I mean, just listen to them. I mean, these kids aren't dumb. They got it together. And I tell you, I'm going to stand with them. And I'm going to promote the march. And I'll keep pushing it. And I tell you, I'd almost like to go, but I don't want to make any promises. So if I can't go, maybe I can help somebody else go. Or maybe we can coordinate people going. You know, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of buses and there's going to be a lot of different types of things. There's groups in Danbury I know that have gone down to Washington for a lot of different events, and this is worth going down for. So let's see. But guys, you know, there is one group of people that you never mess with. One group of people that don't even think about messing with, and that's mothers. You start to mess with a mother and a mother's kid, and that mother turns into a mama grizzly, and let me tell you something. You think an assault weapon's bad? You get on the wrong side of a mom whose kid has been killed by an assault rifle, and you'll never hear the end of it. Judy, clip 8, please.
Now, you were talking about this mother, Brooke. One of the victims, 14-year-old Alyssa Al-Hadab, by all accounts, a great athlete. She was on the soccer team, a very excellent student, has a lot of friends who are here. Everyone we've talked to here knew her. And her mother, Lori, is obviously a very grief-stricken mother. She has 2 younger sons. Alyssa was her oldest daughter. She's grief-stricken, but she is extremely strong. And I want you to listen to what she said to us.
How do we allow a gunman to come into our children's school? How do they get through security? What security is there? There's no metal detectors. The gunman, a crazy person, just walks right into the school, knocks down the window of my child's door, and starts shooting her, and killing her. President Trump, you say, what can you do? You can stop the guns from getting into these children's hands. Put metal detectors at every entrance to the schools. What can you do? You can do a lot. This is not fair to our families that our children go to school and have to get killed. I just spent the last 2 hours putting the burial arrangements for my daughter's funeral, who's 14. President Trump, please do something. Do something. Action! We need it now! These kids need safety now!
May Alyssa and the 16 other victims rest in peace. Brooke?
Sorry. Whew. Gary, thank you. I'm sorry. It's just Congressman Ted Deutsch, help me out, of Florida here, who represents the district. Just hearing that mother, I'm sorry. It got me.
Yeah, Brooke, I don't know that I don't know. I don't know.
What do you say?
What do you say? You don't say nothing. You play the next clip. Clip 9, Judy.
If the president wants to come up to me and tell me to my face that it was a terrible tragedy and how it should never have happened, and maintain telling us how nothing is going to be done about it, I'm going to happily ask him how much money he received from the National Rifle Association. In the 1.5 months in 2018 alone, that comes out to being $5,800. Is that how much these people are worth to you, Trump? If you don't do anything to prevent this from continuing to occur, that number of gunshot victims will go up, and the number that they are worth will go down. And we will be worthless to you. To every politician who is taking donations from the NRA, shame on you.
Till November, guys.
If your money was as threatened as us, would your first thought be, how is this going to reflect on my campaign? Which should I choose? Or would you choose us? And if you answered us, will you act like it for once? You know what would be a good way to act like it? I have an example of how not to act like it. In February of 2017, 1 year ago, President Trump repealed an Obama-era regulation that would have made it easier to block the sale of firearms to people with certain mental illnesses.
Unbelievable, isn't it, guys? Anything Obama
From the
did, Trump
interactions that I had
undid.
had with the shooter before the shooting and the information that I currently know about him, I don't really know if he was mentally ill, but I wrote this before I heard what Delaney said. Delaney said that he was diagnosed. I don't need a psychologist, and I don't need to be a psychologist to know that repealing that regulation was a really dumb idea. Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa was the sole sponsor on this bill that stops the FBI from performing background checks on people adjudicated to be mentally ill, and now he's stating for the record, well, it's a shame that the FBI isn't doing background checks on these mentally ill people. Well, duh! You took that opportunity away last year! The people in the government who were voted into power are lying to us. And us kids seem to be the only ones who notice and are prepared to call BS. Companies trying to make caricatures of the teenagers nowadays, saying that all we are is self-involved and trend-obsessed, and they hush us into submissions when our message doesn't reach the ears of the nation. We are prepared to call BS. Politicians who sit in their gilded House and Senate seats funded by the NRA telling us nothing could have ever been done to prevent this. We call BS. They say that tougher gun laws do not decrease gun violence. We call BS. They say a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We call BS. They say guns are just tools like knives and are as dangerous as cars. We call BS. No, they say that no laws could have been able to prevent the hundreds of senseless tragedies that have occurred. We call BS. That us kids don't know what we're talking about, that we're too young to understand how the government works. We call BS. If you agree, register to vote. Contact your local congresspeople. Give them a piece of your mind.
Register to vote. Listen to the crowd going berserk.
All right, very powerful messaging coming from that young lady, Emma Gonzalez, a student at Douglas High School, and she is fired up there.
Fired up. They're all rocking and rolling, and there's a good reason. You know, we call BS. Hey, finally, everybody's finally getting the idea. The politicians are bought and paid for. And, you know, when you see the amount of money that they're being given, it's incredible. I mean, $30 million just to the Republican Party. So what are you going to do when it comes time to vote? Hey, if you took a penny from the NRA, you ain't getting my vote. It's that simple. But guys, the next clip we're going to show you is one of our favorite conservatives, Tomi Lahren. And she made some stupid conservative statements because, you know, the conservative party, the Republican Party, has to back the NRA. So what do? They get these blondes. She's a natural blonde, believe me. The elevator doesn't go to the top, and she spews the hate and the filth of the party so that the simple folk will think that the NRA is a good quality organization. But listen, even the kids are figuring it out. And these girls, they love to bash Tomi. And guys, we did one show on just Tomi, just to show what a bonehead she is. So these kids will pick up where we left off. And look, when it comes to conservative and the conservative medias, guys, take no prisoners. When they try to give you the double reverse, give them the old bada bing. It's that simple. From now on, the rules are changed. Don't be ashamed to call somebody out. And when somebody acts ridiculous, what do? You ridicule them. Very simple. No, you can't be condescending like that, Rich. No, no, no. Yes, I can, and I will. And until you get your act together and start dealing with the reality, that's the way I'm going to be. So, Judy, let's have some fun with the next clip with these two girls bashing Tomi Lahren. Clip 10, please.
Victim list. I saw Mr. Beagle, obviously, and then I saw Peter, and I started screaming and crying, and I couldn't do anything. I was just in complete tears. I was a wreck.
Of course you were. I mean, this is life-changing. Even though you survived, obviously, to lose these people who were so close to you, this is forever life-changing. And to have to hear about 17 different people. And so, Carly, I want to bring you in because you also have lost people. You also endured all of this, and you were inside. And so when people like, you know, this conservative firebrand, Tomi Lahren, tell you how you should feel and what you can talk about today. Let me read the tweet that got you upset from Tomi Lahren. It says here, can the left let the families grieve for even 24 hours before they push their anti-gun owner agenda? My goodness, this isn't about a gun, it's about another lunatic. What did you think when you read that?
I just got angry. Like, she's trying to use, like, left and right. I don't think it's about any sides of political parties or anything. It's about children died. Like, it doesn't matter what side of the gun control argument you're on. Like, people are dead.
And when is the right time to talk about this?
I think anytime.
Right now.
I think it's right now. I think
right this second.
2 days ago, we have to talk about it because there's no, it's already too late to change.
I mean, I was so struck by what you said that while it was happening, while you all were under siege, hiding behind desks, as Kelsey was, hiding in closets, you were all talking about it. So if you can talk about it while it's happening, you can talk about it today.
Yeah, I don't think it should be someone else's choice on when we can talk about it because it is something that is so sad. It happened at our school and people are gone and we have to talk about it because there's people dead. And there's been people dead because of this for shooting after shooting.
I mean, this is, by the way, how people process trauma. They talk about it. Here's what you tweeted back to Tomi Lahren. I was hiding in a closet for 2 hours. It was about guns. You weren't there. You don't know how it felt. Guns give these disgusting people the ability to kill other human beings. This is about guns. This is about all the people who had their lives abruptly ended because of guns. It's quite simple to you in your mind.
Yeah, I don't think it should be an argument even, and I understand people want the right to bear arms, but there's people dead, and I think that's more important than the right to bear arms because we're protecting ourselves from this amendment. Sort of.
Is this a tough conversation to have in Florida? A lot of people have guns in Florida. Obviously, there's a gun culture. Is this a tough conversation to have here?
I think it's a tough conversation to have anywhere. I think there's a lot of people who are really passionate about guns and they love guns, but I don't see a need for it when there are people that are being killed.
Yeah. Kelsey, what do you want to say to the leaders, to people who have some power to perhaps stop this from happening at another school? What message do you want them to know about what you all have endured here?
I just want them to know that something actually does need to happen. Like, after Sandy Hook, after all the other shootings, and then having it happen at my own school, something needs to be done or it's going to continue. Because I understand people are crazy, but guns in crazy people's hands is deadly, and I lost two of my closest people to me because of guns, and no one's doing anything about it.
What do you want us to know about Peter?
Peter was very funny. I used to joke around with him and call him Peter Griffin, and he'd laugh with me. He was one of my closest friends, and he was very kind.
Guys, I tell you, the fact that they're there and they're able to give an interview speaks volumes. I don't know if I could do it. You know, a good friend of mine was chief of police over in Bethel. And when Sandy Hook happened, he went. And I said, Jeff, what was it like? And you know, he tried to explain it. And guys, you can't explain something like that. And he's a Vietnam veteran. He saw blood, guts, and gore. And he said, you know, Sandy Hook made Vietnam look like a day in the park. But you know, these guys bashed Tomi Lahren. And guys, there's been so much activity on Facebook that what I did was I snipped a bunch of stuff from Facebook, and I'm just going to read them one after the other. And guys, I tell you, most of them are entertaining, they're informative, but I tell you, you know, hopefully we can learn something from these. So Judy, if we just go through them one after the other, and if we start with number 11, so you want to bring up us, there you go. The GOP wants you to know their thoughts and prayers are with you, but their vote is with the NRA. Next time there is a mass shooting, remember, they're thinking of you, but voting for them. America, where taking a knee in protest gets outrage, and an AR-15 to shoot people is a right not to be infringed upon. Right, guys? This is from Erica. Why not just ban guns, and when people are upset about it, just send them thoughts and prayers? If thoughts and prayers are good enough for people who've lost their family, then it's good enough for people who've lost their guns. Next. Women have mental illness too, yet 98% of mass shootings are committed by men. And Uncle Joey, you see our source there, right? This isn't about mental illness. This is about violent men and their easy access to killing machines. We have a problem in this country, and they didn't cross the border. Guys, they're all white, aren't they? They're not all fat, but they're all white. All right, next, Judy. All right, this is a takeoff on the Three Banners poster, and it's about Marco Rubio, but I'm having a bit of a problem reading it, so if you can read it better at home, good for you. All right, next, Judy. Maybe they should start calling schools a uterus so Republicans will care about the children dying in them. Guys, if that ain't the truth. A new theory suggests the government didn't act alone, but was assisted by 52 senators, 298 representatives, and the NRA. Any questions, guys? Next, Judy. This one's for Kurt. I need every black man in the country to go out tomorrow and buy an AR-15 assault weapon. They'll be banned. They'll be banned by Tuesday. Hey, we should arm every teacher, quote unquote. You bastards won't even buy them pencils and printer ink. How you got money? How you got the budget for Glocks? Next, Judy. Ah, look at this. 5 seconds before Ronald Reagan was shot, look at it, surrounded by all those guns. Will armed school teachers make children even safer? Huh? Is that possible, guys? I don't understand why we need the Secret Service when we can protect the president with thoughts and prayers. Any questions? Next, Judy. All right, now guys, this is from my buddy Eddie Shaluk. So far in 2018, there have been 4,320 deaths due to drunk driving. Nobody is looking to ban cars because everyone is smart enough to know that it's not the car's fault. Judy, come back to me. Guys, can you imagine what would happen if the guys with the assault rifles were drunk? But Eddie didn't make that comparison, did he? No. He equated drunk drivers with accidents. He didn't equate drunk drivers with AR-15 rifles. And this is how you trick the simple folks, eh? And guys, the next still is going to be from Eddie, and he put it up, and this is a conservative thinking. So Judy, can we have the next clip, the next still? And there's Eddie at the top. We kind of cut his head off, but he put this down. If you ever wondered what side of the fence you sit on, this is a great test. Yeah, this is a great test if you're one of the simple folk guys. If a conservative doesn't like guns, he doesn't buy one. If a liberal doesn't like guns, he wants all guns outlawed. Eddie, who told you that? If a conservative is a vegetarian, he doesn't eat meat. If a liberal is a vegetarian, he wants all meat products banned for everyone. Eddie, who told you that, and why are you stupid enough to post it? If a conservative is down and out, he thinks about how to better his situation. A liberal wonders who is going to take care of him. Eddie, who put that in your cute little head? Did you hear that on Fox News, Eddie? If a conservative doesn't like a talk show host, he switches channels. Liberals demand that those they don't like be shut down. Who told you that, Eddie? And why are you stupid enough to print it? If a conservative is a non-believer, he doesn't go to church. A liberal non-believer wants any mention of God and Jesus silenced. Eddie, I don't want the idea of God to be silenced. I have a lot of fun making fun of you simple folk who have invisible friends. Keep it up so I can keep having fun with you. But let's start thinking about reality. You know, Eddie? Things that are real, that you can touch, see, feel, smell, taste. Reality, Eddie. Something conservatives have a very tough time with. And let's see, the last one. Oh, a conservative decides he needs health care. He goes about shopping for it. Or he may choose a job that protects, I'm having a little trouble. A liberal demands that the rest of us pay for his. Once again, guys, see, Eddie's coming up with the assumption that a liberal wants somebody to pay for his health care. Nah, what we want is, we want the money that we spend on health care to be spent more efficiently. We have the highest cost per capita on health care in the whole world. And look what we end up with. Benefits that are ridiculous. And the last one is, if a conservative reads this, he'll forward it so his friends can have a good laugh. A liberal will delete it because he's offended. Judy, come back to me. Eddie, I won't delete something like this. And quite the opposite. You got everything ass backwards as usual. I get deleted all the time because people don't, oh, he doesn't like the fact that I have invisible friends. Oh, well, let me hit the delete button, conk. And that's it. They only deal with like-thinking people. People that are stupid enough to believe the same nonsense they believe. And guys, like I said earlier, when you believe in stuff that's ridiculous, you deserve to be ridiculed. And don't hide behind religion and say you're right. Yeah, you're right. It is your right to be religious, but it's not your right to be stupid. All right? And that's why I get it. That's why I get mad. But guys, you know, there's a new late night guy that's coming to the forefront, and we've featured him a bunch of times on this show. Jimmy Kimmel takes no prisoners when it comes to the gun debate. He keeps it lively, but guys, when you start to hear what he says, you're going to say, you know what? I like the way Jimmy Kimmel thinks. I want to be part of that action. So Judy, let's have clip number 30, please.
You know and feel this is another very sad day in America, another senseless shooting, this time at a high school in Parkland, Florida, where a gunman, a former student, opened fire yesterday. Again, 17 lives have been lost, more than a dozen people are hospitalized, and our president, as he should, weighed in on the tragic events this morning from the White House.
We are all joined together as one American family, and your suffering is our burden also. No child, no teacher should ever be in danger in an American school.
Agreed.
No parent should ever have to fear for their sons and daughters when they kiss them goodbye in the morning.
Agreed. So I agree with both of those statements. And here's what you do to fix that. Tell your buddies in Congress, tell Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell and Marco Rubio, all the family men who care so much about their communities, that what we need are laws, real laws, that do everything possible to keep assault rifles out of the hands of people who are going to shoot our kids. Go on TV and tell them to do that. That's That is a perfect example of the common sense you told us you were going to bring to the White House. It's time to bring it. We need it. Tell these congressmen and lobbyists who infest that swamp you said you were going to drain. Force these allegedly Christian men and women who stuff their pockets with money from the NRA year after year after year to do something now, not later, now. And don't you dare let anyone say it's too soon to be talking about it, because he said it after Vegas, he said it after Sandy Hook, you say that after every one of these 8 now fatal school shootings we had in this country this year. Children are being murdered. And do something. We still haven't even talked about it. You still haven't done anything about it. Nothing. You've literally done nothing. Actually, you've done worse than nothing. You like to say this is a mental health issue, but one of your very first acts as president, Mr. Trump, was to actually roll back the regulations that were designed to keep firearms out of the hands of the mentally ill. You did that. Your party voted to repeal the mandates on coverage for mental health. So I agree this is a mental illness issue, because if you don't think we need to do something about it, you're obviously mentally ill. And it is amazing to me.
Right between the eyes, that a boy.
If one illegal immigrant causes a car accident, we've got to build a wall to keep the rest of them out. Why are you looking for solutions to that problem and not this one? Every reasonable American, Republican or Democrat, knows that something has to be done, something, and we're not doing anything. But go ahead, I'll let you finish.
To every parent, teacher, and child who is hurting so badly, we are here for you, whatever you need, whatever we can do to ease your pain.
Great. Okay, what we need and what you can do to ease our pain and to prevent future pain is something. 8 out of 10 Americans agree that a teenager shouldn't have an AR-15. So why does a teenager legally have an AR-15? Somewhere along the line, these guys forgot they work for us, not the NRA, us. And this time, we're not going to allow you to bow your head in prayer for 2 weeks until you get an all clear and we move on to the next thing. We're going to make sure you do something this time. And if you agree with me, and maybe you don't, but if you do, here's one way you can help. Go to everytown.org. All the information you need is there, and you can write to your representatives and call them. And if they don't listen, vote them out of office. Whatever you do something. Because I, for one, am very, 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 very tired of this.
It's entirely premature to be discussing about legislative solutions, if any.
It's just not the time to dive into the politics and try to score political points.
I think anybody who would politicize this shooting should be ashamed of themselves.
This is not the time to have the discussion, and it's frankly, I think, insulting to the American public right now to try to politicize something. The reaction of Democrats to any tragedy is to try to politicize it.
I'm more than happy to talk about this in a few days. Right now is not the time.
There's a time and place for a political debate, but now is the time to unite as a country.
This isn't a guns situation. I mean, we could go into it, but it's a little bit soon to go into it.
Yeah, no, it isn't. We'll be right back.
No, it isn't. The time is now. Let's have the discuss. Let's get this over with. But guys, more importantly, when it comes to voting in November, if somebody as much as a nickel came from the NRA, that guy doesn't get a vote. I don't care who it is. I don't care what party he's with. You take one nickel from the NRA, you don't get a vote. It's that simple. And guys, the next clip is from a guy, his name is Dale Hansen. And it seems to be a sportscaster, and I'm not sure where he's from. But I guess the shooting has had such an effect on him that he just had to say what he's going to say in this clip. So guys, this is somebody that put the reality of sports aside for one day so he could talk about something more important, the people. So Judy, clip 31, please.
So Dale Hansen moves away from sports this morning.
He has something he wants to say about school shootings. Here is his extra point.
Another high school shooting yesterday, this one in Florida, 17 dead, the last report I saw. And everybody sends their thoughts and prayers again because that works so well. This is the 18th high school shooting in America this year, and we have 10 and a half months to go. We've had 290 since 2013. We average about one a week, but there's just nothing we can do. If it was a Muslim or a Mexican doing the shooting, how many new laws and how much money would we spend then to stop the madness? But since it's almost always a white kid, there's just nothing we can do. America has 5% of the world's population and yet 31% of the world's mass shootings. We're worried about people coming to this country. They should be worried about us going to theirs. Australia had 4 mass shootings between 87 and 96. They passed stricter gun laws and haven't had a single mass shooting since. And here I thought, guns don't kill, people do. Is this the people we are? Last time I said we need to find a way to stop a nut with a gun, and that's all I said. I get an email saying, I'm saving my last bullet to put it right between your eyes. Just another responsible gun owner in America, and I'm taking all bets he's a white guy. So there's just nothing we can do.
There's nothing we can do. Boy, do they have that wrong. Uncle Rich is on the case. We're going to make things happen. Uncle Joey, stay tuned and watch what happens. See you next week, everybody.
So Dale Hansen moves away from sports this morning.
He has